For more than 20 years, CTV has captured the moments that matter in our community. From our studios in St. Clair, you're watching Focus with Paul Dingeman.
Welcome to another edition of the Focus program. We are glad you are along. The month of April has already started. And you know what? The flowers are going to be here shortly. So hang in there because it'll make it bright just like this lady does every month. Miss, what's your name again, O'Brien?
I was going to say, you forgot my name, Johnson?
Deb Johnson's with us from Community Mental Health. And Deb, you always have some bright things to tell us about things that are going on in St. Clair County.
I do have a few things to talk about.
Good.
So April, and actually I did see crocus up already.
Oh, did you? Good,
yes,
good,
at my daughter's
good,
house.
good.
So, yeah, and that's even north end. It's colder up that way, but
Yeah.
yeah, so that was nice. So spring
They
is in the
still
air.
have snow up there.
I know. Spring is in the air, but April is, it's a lot of things. Every month is a lot of things. But the things I kind of want to focus on are, it's National Autism Awareness Month, and it's also National Child Abuse Awareness Prevention Month as well. So I'll talk first about Autism Awareness Month. And first of all, just talking about autism, you know, the last stat, and I actually just checked some of the statistics before I came here, actually. And you know, we've been saying, and they say on the radio too, 1 in 68 kids will have are born with autism. It's in 2018, the CDC released, well, for 2018, 1 in 59.
Wow.
So it's even more and more prevalent. There's no single.
Is it because of the awareness factor?
I do think that factors into it, because there's a lot of people that that are somewhere on the spectrum, and that's one thing about autism. It can vary tremendously. In fact, there's a speaker coming in. Reese is having a resource fair on April 13th, and Anthony Ianni will be speaking at it. And Anthony Ianni is a man that played basketball for Michigan State.
Okay.
A number of years ago. He's super tall. We had him here. We had him here a number of years ago. And he's a great speaker, but he has autism, and he's on the spectrum. But he successfully went to Michigan State, played basketball, and he has
a full life.
Has a full life. So yeah, the range can be tremendous. So at any rate, things that you might want to look for if you're a parent is like either a lack of spoken language completely, or delay in speaking or developing language.
How early?
As early as kids talk, you know, like when you think your child should start babbling and talking and things like that, and you don't see those signs, or you know, difficulty maintaining or making eye contact, lack of interest in maybe playing with others or interacting with others, prefer to be more alone, things like that, or repetitive hand movements, different things like that. Fixation on objects, all of those things. Did I say like not smiling much? That's another one.
Right.
And so any of those things can be signs that your child might have autism or be somewhere on the spectrum, but having one or two of those things does not definitely mean that. So you need to see your pediatrician and talk to them about it. And if your child is diagnosed with autism, we have some really good resources, and unfortunately, I know, because I know people who have good private insurance, they can't access the resources we can provide through our ABA Center, which is because under Lieutenant Governor Brian Calley, who had a daughter with autism, he ensured that autism services became a part of the Medicaid benefits.
He was really active.
Super active, and pushed it for kids with autism. So kids who have Medicaid are eligible for a program through Community Mental Health. It's called ABA, which is Applied Behavior Analysis. We have a center-based program. We also provide services in the home and community and school. It's kind of based on the theory of positive reinforcement to help children develop the behaviors you want them to have, and eliminate some of the ones that you don't want. But our program has been very successful. It's currently located at the old Baker College in Port Huron. We hope it'll be moving soon, because we're in the process of trying to purchase a building.
Good.
Yeah, and it will be for all of our children's services. It will also be in Port Huron. But at any rate, if anybody has Medicaid, no insurance, they should call us up. Call our access 888-225-4447, and we can at least provide resource information even if a person's not eligible through us.
So lots of things are happening for autism. So what's the other thing that's happening with this month?
It's Child Abuse.
Child Abuse and Neglect Council.
Awareness, yeah, Prevention Awareness Month. And so so I just want to say for that, I've been involved with the Child Abuse and Neglect Council for a long time. And we have our big dinner coming up on April 11th. It's called Denim and Diamonds. It will be at the Convention Center. And actually, we had a board meeting today, and we have over 400 people
400
attending.
people coming.
Yeah, we can still take more, though, because I think it seats 500.
Wonderful.
So, yeah, we can still take some more people. We have some great prizes. And actually, Pat and Margaret Coughlin, Coughlin Jewelers, have donated the major portion of a 1-carat diamond. And then we have a sponsor that covers...
The top or the bottom?
Pat would probably say whatever top part is the best, and I'm guessing it's the top part. But anyways, Margaret actually met with us and gave us this idea where you sell glasses of champagne for $25 a piece.
Yeah.
They're all going to have something in them, like a cubic zirconia, 1 carat, and then one is going to have a real diamond. So it's going to be fun. So
don't drink it.
So be careful. Yep, do not swallow the diamond or the whatever it is. So anyway, so that's coming up. But and if you go through Port Huron, you'll notice blue pinwheels up and down. That's just to increase people's awareness about child abuse. And one of the big programs we have is the prevention program. And Lindsay Chopp, who's a St. Clair girl, she's our prevention educator. She's
phenomenal.
She's phenomenal. She does an amazing job. And we are now, actually as of yesterday, in every school district in the county, every elementary school. We've been in every school district at different levels, but we just recently, actually, East China School District invited her to come in May for their elementary schools.
Good.
So we're very excited about that, and because we really need to continue to increase people's awareness about child abuse. In fact, another thing I saw at our board meeting, we look over how many forensic interviews happen every month, and in the month of February there were 30 forensic interviews.
That's a lot.
That's a lot. This is a small county, so that means 30 kids are alleged victims of physical or sexual abuse, because that's what that process is for. That's not good. So we need to continue to educate kids so that they'll tell somebody. And
again, it's awareness. If Lindsay's doing her job, the kids are relating to her, and they're going to tell somebody that something happened, which is good.
That actually recently, it happened at one of the schools. After Lindsay was done, a young girl said, "Can I talk to you?" And afterwards talked to Lindsay and told her what was going on. And
wonderful.
That process went all the way through, and that child was being sexually abused. And but that was all addressed, but obviously the child's still been traumatized. Right. But that was could have gone on for a lot longer if Lindsay would.
So you got autism going, and you got the child neglect efforts, and what else we got?
Well, other than that, I just always like to talk about or remind people up until the run for recovery, we have our 11th annual 5K Run for Recovery. We call it Healthy Minds, Healthy Bodies, because we continue to have a focus on integrated healthcare. And because it is the 11th run on May 11th, we're going to start doing a little fun thing for the 11 days leading up to the run.
11 winners.
There's going to be 11 winners in every category. No, there's not. But we are going to draw out of all the entries. So if you're entered by May 1st, every day we're going to draw a winner for gift certificates to our Sally Cafe, and the winner on the last day is also going to get a refund of their entry in addition. So just a fun little thing to do.
Different.
So there's a 1-mile walk with that. So if you're not a runner, you can still come walk. Most people can walk a mile. Or there's a 5K run. And there's a 1-mile timed run for kids, so that's always fun too. So everything starts 8:30 and 9 o'clock.
Will there be some of Deb Johnson's special cookies?
There might be. If you come and walk, Paul, I will make cookies for that day as well.
These were a special treat as she walked in the door today. So thank you, Deb.
I hope that you enjoy them.
I will enjoy them.
So that's, I guess one last thing I'd like to say is our annual awards recognition night is May 7th, and it is open to the public, and we will be recognizing a number of people from the community. So Jason Steyer, who's the principal of Riverview East.
Marvelous, deserves every award he gets.
He does an amazing job. I love what he's doing at that school, and he really recognizes the importance of teaching kids about mental health issues, about anxiety, depression, suicide awareness, drugs, social media, all those kinds of things that are affecting kids. And he's done a phenomenal job. He was the first principal and the first school in St. Clair County to implement a program called Prepare You. It's a 15-week curriculum on those topics that I just mentioned. And I admire his initiative, his motivation, and actually, I met him here waiting to come on your show.
Yeah.
So Jason is getting that award. We're also recognizing Mallory Mahalik and, oh my God, you know her, she's from St. Clair. Carly Humes, but she has a different married name. Carly Humes, those two. And Community Foundation is our organizational award. And then we have a Staff of the Year, Tony Theovarante. And
what's the date on that?
May 7th for that event, and it will be at Alexander's in Marysville. And we also, our poster winner, again, is from the second year in a row, St. Clair High School.
Wonderful.
We met with her today, Maddie Cook, and got some photos.
Good.
And so we'll be using her artwork for all of our publicity and marketing.
Next year, Ben over here, Trudeau is going to be the winner next year.
I hope Ben submits some stuff for us because I heard he's very talented, and we need good artwork we use it for marketing. So
Deb Johnson, thanks so much. Always a pleasure seeing you, darling.
Thank you
for the cookies.
You're welcome. Enjoy them.
There's a big election coming up in the beginning part of May in the East China School District, and we've got three very interesting people who are going to be along to give us an overview of what they think about it. We'll be right back. As you can see, there's an election coming up the first part of May, and there's lots of discussion on the social media about it, good, bad, and indifferent. And we thought we better get some experts in here from the community to give you a little background on what it is and whether you want to vote for it or against it or just what's going on. Let's welcome to the focus set Mr. David Scheel. Welcome back to the focus set, sir.
Thanks, Paul.
David is a retired educator from the East China School District. Patrick Phelan is a local businessman and parent of children in the school and also a former Marine City Commissioner. And Deepat Salas, a local realtor who's really on top of what's going on in the community, people coming in, people leaving, and why they do all those things. David, let's begin with you. When is the election? Why is the election? What's happening?
The election is on May the 7th. And really what we're looking at here is kind of a bit of a perfect storm, you might say. Because this is not a unique thing to the East China School District.
No.
But we have lost 1,700 kids since 2001.
That's staggering.
And so it's impossible fiscally and it's irresponsible to continue to use 10 buildings when you've had that kind of decline in enrollment.
Okay.
So that's one point of the storm. That same thing, by the way, is going on in places like Grosse Pointe. There's been a lot of publicity about that. Farmington is closing Farmington Hills Harrison High School. So that's largely the decline in birth rate. Secondarily, our buildings are getting older.
Okay.
We tried to get a bond through to upgrade some infrastructure issues in these older buildings 3 years ago, and it failed. And that started some discussion about, well, where do we go from here? And there's been a lot of committee work, people volunteering. I retired.
You got a big, huge crowd of people that are involved.
Right. I retired. That'll be 10 years ago in June. So, but I was interested and wanted to be a part of it. And so we still have these infrastructure issues, only now it's 3 years later and it continues to just build because the state has not been funding school districts, or for that matter, cities or townships, at a rate where they can do their improvements. Mm-hmm. And the last thing is, the last technology bond we passed in our school was in 2009, 10 years ago.
Wow.
And if you know anything about technology, and I'm by far not the expert on technology, but this thing moves very quickly and equipment becomes antiquated very quickly.
Absolutely.
And most of our technology right now is at what they call end of life, and parts are difficult to find. I understand they even go on eBay sometimes looking for parts to keep the computers running. Well, we've got the lowest bond issue millage of all the schools in the area.
You've got one dropping off too, don't you?
Yeah, yeah. a mill dropping off. So it seems to me that we can be able, if Marysville built a beautiful new high school, if Richmond made a big improvement to their high school, if Anchor Bay has a huge, beautiful school that was built a number of years ago, that our kids deserve to go to a good, solid school with state-of-the-art technology, not a technology that's basically on the verge of failing. Mm-hmm. And so that's, I think, the big problem that we face. That's the perfect storm.
Okay. Patrick, you're a parent. You've been on boards and commissions in Marine City over the years. You've seen a lot of stuff happening and worked with lots of committees. What are your thoughts?
Well, just to elaborate a little bit on what Dave said and put some numbers to it, Dave mentioned that we had lost 1,700 students, I think, since the early 2000s.
And they come with a fee of like $8,000 a head.
Yeah, and I just did some rough numbers. I was using 1,500 because just off the top of my head, that was the number that I was thinking was 1,500 at $8,000 per student per year. That's $12 million.
$12 million per year.
Per year. And that's only one part of it. The other part is that the funding hasn't kept up. The per student funding has not kept up with the rate of inflation. Obviously, the cost of things increase over time. And so in the early 2000s, we were getting about $7,200 per student. And now it's just a hair over $8,000 a student. And so that increase isn't even close to what the rate of inflation would be. So the rate of inflation would put it somewhere between 10 and 11,000. So if it's, let's say, 10,000 per student now, that'd be $17 million a year that we're not getting now.
Wow.
You know, obviously that's going to put a lot of strain on the budget, and that's what we've seen over the years. And you add that in with the loss of the students and things not keeping up with inflation and the budget pressure. You know, one of the things that people have said is the mismanagement of funds. You know, it's a criticism. And of course, all boards are always going to be subjected to that sort of criticism, but those boards have to do these things in real time, and they can't see exactly what's going to happen and how many students we were going to lose over the years. I mean, it accelerated so fast after the economy, you know, tanked about, you know, 10, 12 years ago when things started going down really badly. That's when the loss of students really accelerated and when they really stopped increasing funding to the schools per student. They actually cut it significantly at around that time, right around 2010. So, I mean, all those things add up to them making cuts in real time each year, having to cut significant pieces out of their budget. And a lot of that comes from maintenance, and you get deferred maintenance, and of course the cost to make those repairs, the longer you wait, the more it costs.
Right.
And those things just snowballed over time. And so now we're left with these huge liabilities in terms of the facilities, and that's something that we need to deal with. And I think this is a comprehensive plan to deal with not just the high schools. You know, for this, we'll get a new high school, a new middle school, a new Riverview, and also we're going to have every single other school building in the district addressed. All their needs would be addressed as well. So it's comprehensive. You wouldn't have them coming back, you know, in 3, 5, 8 years looking for, you know, another bond to address this building because they've all been addressed.
Well, that's a positive thing because people don't want to see you come back after they've supported you.
Absolutely.
And then say, well, wait a minute, we forgot about this or we forgot about that. Dee, what is your arena? The real estate is so integral to it. People don't want to buy a house unless there's a good school district.
Yeah, in real estate, 21 years, location, location, location.
Right.
Schools, schools, schools.
Right, that's right. And they go hand in hand, don't they?
Hand in hand. And if great schools equal great property values equals increased taxes, which increases revenue. I mean, I don't know anybody who is a real estate investor or who is in real estate who would never support or back the schools, period. It is just a win-win. Good schools mean employ
Right.
want to be transferred to employers in the area, and good schools will make or break a deal. And I've been doing this for a very long time, and I mean, East China, I mean, it's desirable. Everybody wants East China schools. It's disheartening to me in the last 3 to 4 years. Marysville schools, anchor-based schools, which is paying almost 4 times as much as what ours would be. And they're willing to pay 11 mils in taxes for that school, for that technology. It's disheartening that we are a fantastic district, and we have imagine what we could be if we had the tools. Like Dave said, the technology, our last bond was before iPads were invented. Our technology are 3-inch wide laptops. When you close them, they're that big.
Right. So you see it. I guess what we're trying to let you people say is take a look at the information. There's lots of information out there. There's going to be meetings. There's going to be things that people should, if they've got questions, you're certainly willing to answer them, right?
There's a wonderful website on the school district website on this bond issue, and it has questions and answers. It has a place where you can type in a question you have to the superintendent, Dr. Sapula. She'll respond. She'll give you information. She's going to be at the Washington Life Center at 1:30 on Thursday, the 11th.
Okay.
In about a week.
Right.
There's going to be for community forum. Anybody is welcome to come. There'll be flyers, information, and she's going to be at Emmanuel Lutheran, I think, on the 25th.
Okay.
But one thing I guess I'd like to point out about this, as we've kind of talked about the problem, is yes, this is amazingly affordable. If this was something they'd say, well, okay, we've got these problems, we just can't afford it. Well, a couple of things. I own a home in Marine City. I consider it a nice home. I think it's an average home. It's a 3-bedroom home. Love living there. It's a wonderful community. And I'm a senior citizen. I'm in my 70s. My wife is too. And so I looked at my most recent property tax assessment, and it's $52,000. So on the chart that's on the information online as well as the mailer, that puts me in the $7.08 a month tax increase.
Wow, that's not bad.
So I asked, how could I fit that into my budget? Well, maybe I'll have to give up my 1 Mega Millions ticket a week habit.
Yeah, but we want you to do that, because if you win.
If I do that, and I pay the $7.08 here, I'll actually know it's going to the kids in the schools.
There you go.
Which is what the most important thing is to me.
Yeah, that's a very good point.
Because I was brought up by parents who went through the Depression and fought World War II, but one thing they always stressed to me was the importance of education and supporting education in our community.
And D is backing that statement up, and the property values will go up if the schools are good.
So if
they have historically over the years.
Actually, I checked before I came today, and home values inside the top-rated school districts, according to the National Association of Realtors, are 49% higher in value than the national median. 49.
Say that one again.
Home values inside top-rated school districts
top-rated school
are
districts.
49% higher than the national median.
Okay.
That's huge.
That's huge.
That's huge. And you can see that in our own county schools that are,
Right.
have great reputations. And East China has always been that school, but we are falling behind fast. And the combination, and this is what I think some people don't realize, and when I mention it to people at my office, like, think about this, by combining these, and I'm a St. Clair's family. I have a daughter in 7th grade and in 5th grade. I have nephews who are big sports kids in Marine City. Yes, that's a great rivalry, and we love that. But we can take 2 high schools, 2 middle schools. We can give them a state-of-the-art theater, state-of-the-art stadium, pools, theater, computer classes.
AP classes.
All of these classes we now can give to we can't afford to do that in 4 schools, but we can afford to do that in 1 school. And just what you're giving them the opportunity that you wouldn't have at St. Clair Middle School or Marine City Middle School to be there. What about a 7th grader who's really advanced can go and do a high school class? That's just fantastic to me, and we just can't do that any other way.
Patrick, any final thoughts here?
Yeah, I mean, as a parent in the district, I've got 2 children that are in elementary school and a third one that will be starting in a couple more years. To me, it's just all about those opportunities and the facilities and updating things so that they've got a 21st century educational opportunity. We can offer more classes. I'm a proud Mariner as well, and what I see at Marine City High School is it's getting so small that I think it's under 500 students now, and they're not able to offer a lot of the things that they could offer in the past when they had more students, and obviously the budget issues that have come with that we talked about earlier. So combining them and making things much more efficient that way, and providing them with state-of-the-art facilities and IT infrastructure really just increases those educational opportunities and what we can do for those students, and that's what I want. I mean, like I said, I'm a proud Mariner. I played Marine City sports, and Dave called my name on the football field a few times, and I'm very proud of that history and
that'll still live.
That legacy. It will. I believe that, and to me, I think it's a lot of us that's more important to than to the kids now.
Right.
When I see the opinions, I've seen the opinion of a number of students, current students. That really doesn't mean nearly as much to them. I think the rivalries are always fun. It's a fun rivalry, but I think for the parents and the people that graduated from there, and especially that still live in the community, those things seem to be more important than the kids that see the conditions right now and realize the opportunities that they're not getting in the current configuration. And I look at that with with what is being asked here in terms of the millage, and I think it's very, very reasonable. A lot of districts have asked for a lot more money just to do one building than what we're asking, or what the district is asking the voters for here. And this will address every single building in the district.
May the 7th is the election day. There's going to be lots of public hearings before then.
Right.
Washington Elementary, the Emmanuel Lutheran in St. Clair, the Washington Elementary, Washington Life Center. Washington Life.
Yeah. If I could say one other thing.
Yes, you can say whatever you want, David.
Thank you. When we talk about millage, and taxes get people nervous, and they start to perspire, and
right.
That's
coming up next.
Yeah, okay, that's the hot sauce.
That's right.
Coming, eh? And so there's a quick knee-jerk reaction sometimes just to say no. And I really hope, number one, people study and get the information so they really understand this whole thing. And one other thing about that is there are some people who struggle financially. They maybe are seniors on Social Security,
right.
Disability,
right.
maybe some families who have some hardships. And there's this good thing in Michigan that's been there for many, many years called the Homestead Property Tax Credit. Mm-hmm. And if your income is low, probably most, if not all of this millage, you will not have to pay for.
Oh.
And I know this from personal experience, because when my dad passed away in the middle 80s, my mom still lived in her home in Harper Woods till 1999, and I did her taxes. Well, for the same size home that I have in Range City, she paid about double. And every time I did her taxes with the Homestead Property Tax Credit, we got it all back.
Wonderful.
And there's information on the website, on the district website. You can actually calculate your homestead property tax credit.
Well, the bottom line is, if you've got questions, ask them.
Exactly.
And there's plenty of information there. I think we're going to have you guys back the end of the month. And as it gets closer,
or maybe some others, but
yeah,
possibly some others will come in.
Some others as we get to closer to the election time to maybe answer some additional questions. But it's the responsibility of the voter to make sure that you get all the information that you can before you make your decision. The election is May the 7th. It certainly affects all of us. It is, Dee mentioned, it affects our real estate values, it affects the kids, it affects business, so it's an important thing coming up. We thank you all for coming in today, and we'll have you back before the election. Coming up next, as we said, we referenced a second ago, we're going to be talking about some hot sauce here with Kendall Statler in just a second. Young man by the name of Tim Coughlin got a hold of me the other day and said, "You got to talk to this guy. He's called Kendall Statler, but he goes by Tasting the Heat." Welcome to the Focus Show, sir.
Thank you.
You brought your wife,
Thank
Tracy.
you.
Nice
Yes.
to meet you both.
You also.
You're both from St. Clair.
Yep.
You've got an amazing story that you got to tell us about. What is, first off, Tasting the Heat?
Tasting the Heat, we do reviews of hot sauces, barbecue sauces, salsas, anything spicy. And we've probably got over 1,000 different products. And
1,000 products that
Yeah.
you've tasted.
Yeah, and it grows every week because we go to hot sauce expos around the country and now even Canada. And I grab sauces, bring them home, and share them with everybody else. Our main view or purpose is to educate everybody about what other people have, because the hot sauce industry or the spicy food industry is growing at such a tremendous rate. Right now, the hot sauce spicy food industry is $1.5 billion.
$1.5 billion?
Yes, and only 30% is Tabasco and Frank's. So the other 70% are small batch boutique hot sauces that are around the country and around the world. So when you consider that, there's a lot of people out there making spicy foods. Go to Neiman's.
Yep.
Walk down the store. Walk down the aisleway. What do you see now?
Oh, yeah.
Everything is spicy, from chips to candies to corn to you name it.
Yeah,
You know, it's
yeah.
everything is spicy now, and that's what's happening.
How did you get into this niche?
We were on our honeymoon, and
And I'm going to make a real bad joke here. She wasn't hot enough.
oh, I'm pleading the fifth on that because nothing can touch her hotness.
That's why he married me.
So we're talking, and we're going. She looks at me and says, "You need to start a website about what your passion is, what you love." And I've had hot sauces around the house
hot sauce.
all the time, and that just where it took off, and it just started rolling, and here we are. And I just won Reviewer of the Year out of 8 countries.
8 countries.
And it was held in Western Australia. So
Oh, my God.
we were pretty blown away by that.
yeah.
We had no idea it was going to happen. We just got a phone call from Australia.
You do
Said-
a YouTube show, right?
Yeah, we
Yeah.
do a YouTube show and on a
Tasting the Heat
Facebook.
Live.
Yeah, Tasting
Yep.
the Heat Live.
And what kind of viewership do you have on the YouTube show?
It's not too bad. We're just getting started. We're just now focused to YouTube from Facebook because I think we have a better chance to reach more people on YouTube than we do Facebook. So we're slowly transitioning over to that part of the social media, and I kind of like the platform better on YouTube because I think you have a little bit more freedom to put on what you want on there. So
And we do a lot of live shows when we go to expos and so forth.
yeah.
And then everything, everybody can just go there and they can watch what we do.
What does your live show do?
Well, when we're at the hot sauce expos, I interview different makers from around the country
Okay.
or around the
All right.
area.
Yeah.
We talk to them. The people get to meet the maker and find out what their latest sauces are, what they make them with, and what they taste like. And sometimes they fire me up right on the screen. So
Yeah.
I'm sitting there sweating, trying their
Yeah.
stuff. And sometimes I'm not expecting some of the stuff, and it'll just blow you away. But the flavor is amazing.
And a lot of times too, like a lot of people can't make it to the expos. And so it gives people a chance to, kind of be there, and see what it's like and everything. And then if you ever get a chance to go to an expo, you have to go. They're so fun, and you will meet the most friendliest people. It's a family.
Yep.
It really is. They're just a great bunch of people.
There's
Everybody
a lot
gets
of water around.
Yeah, well, a lot of milk. A lot of milk around.
But it's not just the vendors, it's the people that show up.
Oh,
Because
for
everybody's there
sure.
for the same reason, and everybody has this
It's for the love of hot sauce.
Yeah, exactly.
And hot stuff, yeah.
Did you love hot sauce as kids?
Oh, yeah. What started it with me, my father would buy the spicy or the pickled peppers with the cauliflower and the carrots in it and stuff.
Yeah.
And I would eat them and thought it was so hot, but once you start, you can't give it up. So
do you manufacture some too?
this is ours right here.
Okay.
Delicious.
All right, and talk to me about where you do it and what we got here.
Well, after reviewing like I said, over 1,000 different hot sauces, I was with Angry Irishman's at the Chi-Town Hot Sauce Expo last June, and we were riding back, and Kevin Mackey from Angry Irishman said, "Have you ever thought about coming out with your own sauce?" And I said, "Yeah, I would like to do a dill pickle sauce. Never seen it." And he was asking me and saying, "Well, what would you want in it?" And I explained to it, and he didn't say much. And I said, "Do you think this is a good idea?" And he goes, "I'm running it through my head right now." And that was the last we heard about it. Didn't know much about, they're just good friends of us that we met through the hot sauce industry. And a couple weeks later, he had a sample of it in the mail. We made a few tweaks to it, and sent it back and forth. And next thing you know, we come up with this product. So it completely blows us away, and people love dill pickle. And so they're trying to come up with a label, and
a good-looking label.
Yeah, well, I was trying to come up with one, and Tracy said, "This is what I'd like," and she came up with the idea, and we gave it over to Hauser and Hennessy in Bertrand, Michigan, their advertising agency, and they took her idea and made a phenomenal-looking label. I mean, you know what it is.
Where
just
are
by
you
looking
distributing
at
it?
Right now, you can get it at angryirishman.net.
angryirishman.net.
Yeah, and when you go
He sounds
there,
like a fun guy.
Oh, they're the best
Amazing.
people. They're
and
the
if
best.
you go to buy this, grab some of their sauces, because their sauces are some of the best out there.
If you like mustards, they have some fabulous mustards.
Yeah, amazing. But locally, Kimball's Appliance in Port Huron on Lapeer Street, he sells it. Lucky's Market on St. Clair in Chinatown, or China. Is it Chinatown?
St. Clair Highway.
Yeah, on St. Clair Highway, they sell it. And then in Davison, at the Davison Farmers Market at Living Waters
website for
LTD.
Angry Irishman.
Yep. Go onto their website, and you can order right through them.
Okay.
They'll ship it right to you.
Well, we can open this up. We're going to let Peter. Peter.
Nice.
Get up here, Peter. Peter is our tester. I'll let you
He'll
open that up.
Yeah.
I'll get the spoon. I'll be.
I can tolerate this. This is not a super hot, but it's warm for me. I'm more of a mild. I can't do the hots
ready,
like
Peter?
he does.
I was not ready for this.
Well, do you like dill
Do you
pickle?
like dill pickles?
I do like dill pickle.
Then you'll like this.
You'll be fine.
If you fall over, it's not a fall, not a big fall. Here's a napkin for you.
All right.
Couple napkins.
I like the Murphy burger over at the Murphy Inn, and that comes
Theirs
with a
is
dill
really
sauce.
good.
So
This would be really great on there too.
I bet it would.
Ladies and gentlemen, Peter Severini is our tester.
That's very good.
Congratulations.
It's got a nice kick to it.
You are now the new
the
of
proud
it.
owner of a delicious hot sauce.
Now you can do
Thank
so
you.
much with this stuff. Add it with in sour cream to make a chip dip. Tracy loves adding it to guacamole,
Oh yeah.
and then she puts it on a BLT with a fried egg.
Yep.
It's amazing.
You can put it on any lunch meat sandwich.
Yeah.
Because who doesn't put dill pickles on their sandwiches? Hamburgers, hot dogs. You can make deviled eggs with it. Put it in with your potato salad. It goes excellent on salmon. Just anything that you like
fish and
dill
chips.
on, fish and
Add
chips.
it to your tartar sauce, or throw out your tartar sauce. Just pour this on it.
So we got to tell people how they can watch you again.
Well, go to Tasting the Heat, either on YouTube or Facebook.
Just
And
Tasting the Heat.
Just Tasting
Tasting
the
the Heat.
And probably go to the YouTube, because then I have everything on there, and we'll eventually be going live on YouTube, because we're live on Facebook right now. So you can join the Tasting the Heat YouTube page and Facebook page and follow along. Yeah.
They got it up there for you already.
And we just have a great time with this. We figured if we're not having fun, we're not going to do it anymore.
And we love traveling around and just meeting all these small batch hot sauce makers. They're just the funnest, greatest people.
The thing that amazes me is all the wonderful little niches there are in the world for people to make livings and to pursue their hobbies and et cetera, and you certainly have found it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
there's
well-
this whole hot sauce
yeah.
underworld.
It is.
And
It is.
it really is. And if once you find it, you're hooked.
Yeah.
You really are. It's-
Each one of the little booths are like little rock performances.
Yeah.
You know, they're, come on in, try our stuff. It's almost like being at a carnival.
and they're all different and delicious in their own way.
Yeah.
In another life, you were a musician. Tell me about that.
Well, I was a singer in a band called Horaz. We had 3 songs in the top 10 in Europe. We had several albums out, and people can listen to them on the About page of tastingtheheat.com.
Okay. Were they rock or country? Or?
They're
The 80s
Hair
hair
band.
band. The 80s hair band.
there's a nice
stuff.
article
Yeah.
on there called From Hair Band to Hot Sauce. Yeah, there I am.
There he is.
Yeah.
Back in the day.
I liked your hair. You're
Yeah,
pretty good.
that was at Trax in New York City right there. So I've been around quite a bit, and it
Got a
was
wonderful
Got a,
stories.
got a
Wonderful
Yeah.
great
stories.
voice.
yeah.
Steve.
There's
He's-
some things I remember, some things I don't remember, and some things I don't want anybody to remember. But it's
Kendall
fun.
Stadler is his name, and Tracy Stadler. Very nice to meet you both. I'm
You
glad
also.
glad you came along, and
Well, let me say, I'm going to be at the New York Hot Sauce Expo next weekend.
Oh, my
There'll
God.
probably be close to 10,000 or more people there.
Oh, at least.
And I'll be in the Voodoo Chili booth, slinging sauces with
Voodoo
Thomas
Chili
Toad.
booth.
Thomas,
So
yeah.
if people are going to be heading out to New York, get to the expo.
Tune in. Yeah, tune in.
Yeah,
on,
tune in.
On,
You're gonna
because-
do a
on
show?
Facebook.
yeah,
Yeah.
I'll
Show
be
from
doing
there?
shows there. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, great.
So you'll get to go too.
Yeah.
well, that's your invitation to get to New York City with Tasting the Heat with Kendall and Tracy on YouTube next weekend. That's about it for this edition of the Focus program. Thanks very much for tuning in. Till next time, I'm Paul Dingeman. See you soon.